What up, everybody? I'm back from vacation, uh, and maybe doing my other assessment of the trade deadline, as I've missed a lot of deals that went down. Obviously, it was a pleasure following this trade deadline. Best trade deadline I've probably followed, being a baseball fan, probably ever. It was just so much action, so many moves, and you love to see it as a baseball fan. So really happy about that. And it's just all you can ask for as a baseball fan. Um, so first off, I guess we got to go over the big trade, which is Max Scherzer to the Dodgers and Trey Turner for Keibert Ruiz, Josiah Gray, I think Gerardo Castillo, I think his name is, or something. Not a very good prospect, and then another middle of the line, Donovan Casey, another kind of random prospect. So wow. First off, this guy Andrew Friedman is an absolute wizard. Hats off to him. Yeah, any disrespectful thing I said about the Dodgers, I take it back now. This is ridiculous. You give up Keibert Ruiz, and Josiah Gray, and then two mediocre prospects for Max Scherzer and Trey Turner. Now, granted, Scherzer's probably not going to re-sign. You still have another year of Turner. That's just insane. Those are two top 20 MLB players. Very split, I think, in my assessment in terms of what people thought. Some people thought, hey, this is way too, the Nats really got a good deal here. They kind of fleeced the Dodgers. I totally disagree with that. I think if you're the Nats, you say, hey, we better get McKinstry, Lux, or Dustin May. If I'm the GM in the Nats, I'm saying, you're not getting Trey Turner unless you give me Dustin May. That's how I roll. Because that's just ridiculous. You got to get something besides Gray and Ruiz. Whether that's Michael Bush, whether that's Garrett Cleavinger, you got to get something more than just Ruiz and Gray for these phenomenal players. That's my opinion. And I know some people disagree with that, but we have to remember the value of superstars, and the value of revenue, and not just and the value of a championship also, but not just well, this guy's not going to re-sign with my team next year, or he's not going to re-sign 2 years down the road, which isn't even true for Scherzer. Like, we'll probably go to the Nats next year. Same with Turner, in my opinion, too. So we got to stop doing this hypothetical, like, oh, he's not going to resign, so, like, let's just trade him for not very much. I hate that, and that needs to stop. It's bad for baseball. Next biggest trade, in my opinion, was Joey Gallo to the Yankees, for 4 top 30 prospects in their system. I like this for the Rangers. I like bulk deals. I like where, it works for both teams, right? The Yankees didn't really want to give up a top 10 prospect. They gave up 4, top 30 system guys, which I like, and I like for the Rangers too. You get 4 guys who are all potential MLB players, who all have the chance to be good. I really like those types of deals because when they're top 30 system guys, the Yankees don't have a great farm system, but regardless, when they're top 30 system guys, they got a chance to be in the MLB for sure. That's just a fact. So when you do a type of deal like that, you're getting some good money there, and I think they got it worth it. Joey Gallo is going to be an absolute monster in Yankee Stadium. He hits so many fly balls to right field, and that right field is like 315. He's going to have so many home runs. Like, he's just going to be a monster. So I like that trade for both sides. In terms of value. Now, in terms of the Yankees, they also go out to get Anthony Rizzo. They give up their number 9 prospect and their number 12 prospect. My question for the Yankees is, why are you mortgaging your farm system to get 2 guys who are good players, but to get 2 guys who are going to make you propel you into a wild card game. For me, that's really stupid. And why I say that is this. First, it's just basic math, right? You're going to play in a they're not going to win the division, okay? So if you're a Yankees fan and you think you're going to win the division, that's just not going to happen. So they're not going to win the division, and they're going to be a wild card game. Okay, they'll probably win the wild card game, right? Most likely because they have Garrett Cole pitching. But still, it's not guaranteed. You're going to play a good team, and I don't know if they'll be home or away. Who knows? Even if you win that wild card game, guess who you're playing next? Probably the Astros, and you're going to play at the Astros, and Cole's not going to be available till game 2 or 3. So, like, are you really going to win that series? Or, like, do you really want to do that? Like, make those moves so you can, win a wild card game and, like, maybe a playoff series or two? Like, they're not going to win the World Series. So, I don't know. I feel like it's a little too much risk and reward. Also, the Yankees have to make the playoffs. Like, yeah, I think they'll make the wild card, but they still have to make the playoffs. And the A's are going to be competitive. Rays are going to be competitive. So are the Red Sox. So that's my opinion on the Yankees moves. I like what they did, but they gave up way too much for it in terms of the reward. Now, if they're the juggernaut team in the American League, totally go for it. Won your World Series. But they're not going to win the World Series. So that's my opinion on it. And in terms of the Red Sox, let's go over that for my Red Sox fans here. So Red Sox got big acquisition was Kyle Schwarber. They got him from the Nats for some prospect who has good stats, but he's number 19 in the system. So for me, that's a victory because we can just plug Schwarber in at first when he's ready to play, and he's going to hit bombs. Now, he's not a great defender, and we're making a defensive sacrifice, by having him in the lineup, but he's going to hit bombs regardless. So I like that. Then they get Hansel Robles, who's had a terrible season. I like him. I think he has talent, and I don't know if talent's not the right word, but he's had success before in the big leagues, and he's got a good fastball. So we'll see what he can do. I like the acquisition. Get some bullpen help. He's been absolutely horrendous this season, so hopefully he can be better. They also got some dude from the Pirates for Michael Chavis. That didn't really make sense, but I'm fine with getting rid of Chavis. I like the guy, but he's been a bust. So it's too bad, and hopefully he can have success in Pittsburgh. Moving on, we got the Astros. So I think I talked about the Kendall Graveman trade already, but the Astros really didn't do much. I think they got an arm or two. They got like Yimi Garcia, and I really don't think they did anything significant at the deadline. So yeah, not much from the Astros. White Sox, of course, they get the man. I'm trying to do it. They get the man Craig Kimbrell from the Cubs. So I mean that's a scary bullpen now that you've got Hendricks and Kimbrell. I mean that's a lockdown 8 and 9. It's also smart because in the playoffs you can't just use one closer. You're gonna need other guys to close games, so they'll have Kimbrell and Hendricks to close. Brilliant move. So love that from the White Sox. They also got Cesar Hernandez, I think, which was I liked. Just get another infielder to plug in there, which was good. And then let's see, Giants. Giants get Chris Bryant, and honestly, I really like this because if you're the Giants, right, they're not that good. Yeah, they're in first place right now. But like they're not that great. I don't think they can win the World Series, and I think they know that. So just get Chris Bryant, kind of to ride out that playoff run. They didn't give him much. They didn't give up much. I think they gave up their 9 and like 11th best prospects in their system. So yeah, like don't give up a ton and get Chris Bryant, and he'll boost your offense a bit, and just see how far you can ride this in the playoffs. Then they also got Tony Watson for some depth, even though he sucks. I don't even know why I'm talking about that. But that was kind of the Giants. Like we're not really good enough to win this. But let's just get Chris Bryant. Maybe he'll also re-sign with us. And let's just see what happens. Let's see if we'll beat the Dodgers. So some great additions that I want to point out. So some of my favorite low-key trades, as I'll call them. Braves had two with Jorge Soler and Eddie Rosario. Jorge Soler is already tearing it up for the Braves right now. He's got like he's got like 2 or 3 home runs since joining the Braves, and he is such a power bat. He he has the potential to hit 40 home runs in a season. Big mistake by the Royals trading him. I wish the Red Sox got Jorge Soler. I mean, he's a power bat. He's the dream player. Like, he's just a straight up power hitter. He's hitting 200, but he has like 25 home runs. No, he doesn't have that many home runs, but he's gonna hit like a ton of home runs. So love that acquisition. Eddie Rosario, also underrated outfielder, got him from the Indians. They also got Adam Duvall, another power bat, which was good. And they got Richard Rodriguez from the Pirates. Now, problem here is like the Braves are probably the second close. They're the second best contender, if that makes sense, for winning the NL East. I think the Phillies are a little ahead of them just because they have Harper. And the Phillies got Kyle Gibson, which I liked. Get another starting pitcher who's, he's having a good season. And he's got great stuff, great ERA. Could have started in the All-Star game also. His stats are so good. The thing I like about Atlanta is they're still being competitive, and they know that the Mets are unstable. Look, the Mets, I think they'll win the division, but they could fumble this so easily. It's the Mets. Like, they could fumble this, and I'm sorry. I hate to not use statistics or analytics to back this up, but like the Mets, based on as Chris Russo says, as the Mad Dog says, sometimes you got to call on history, and calling on history is looking at the Mets. They screw this up all the time, and guess what? They're only a half game, 1.5 games in front of the Phillies. So, I mean, and if they if they don't win the division, they're not making the playoffs. So, Phillies, I thought the Mets definitely lost at the trade deadline. You trade, and I say this mainly in the Javi Baez trade, right? Javi Baez, you're getting him to play second base. He's not a good fielder. He makes a ton of errors, and he's a decent hitter, but he strikes out a lot, and he swings a lot. He doesn't walk, so not a very efficient player. He's got some pop, but like, he's not good enough to give. Javi Baez is not good enough to give up Pete Crow Armstrong for. The Cubs, I mean, the Mets acquired Javi Baez for Pete Crow Armstrong, who is the Mets' 2020 first-round pick, I believe. And he had an injury, but I still think Peter Crow Armstrong is a great prospect to get, and really kind of a fumble for the Cubs. I mean, for the Mets trading him for Javi Baez. I mean, I don't even know if Javi Baez will re-sign, and even if he's worth the contract, if you re-sign him, I mean, how good is Javi Baez? I think he's one of the most overrated players in the game, and I know that's rude to say, but that's just my analysis. He makes a ton of errors, and he's, a decent bat. We'll see how he does at second base. And of course, finishing this off, I want to keep this brief. I don't want to talk about a ton of deals. One last deal I want to talk about. I loved Miles Straw to the Indians. Miles Straw to the Indians. I think he's a great center fielder. Good move by the Indians. He could really develop into a great player. I'm kind of surprised the Astros got rid of him. Real quick, also Red Sox trade deadline analysis. So in conclusion, I talked about all their moves. I agree with them not going all in this season. We're not good enough to win the World Series, I don't think. And I think it's kind of ridiculous to waste our farm system on a team that's not going to win the World Series, and in a buyer's market where everyone's buying. Yankees added onto their team. White Sox added onto their team. Rays added onto their team. And I guess Astros a bit. I want to talk about Brios to the Blue Jays. So honestly, I'll just do a part 2 of this video.